Hello everybody, thank you so much for attending the webinar today. My name is Mark Kitts. I'm one of the lead team members here at Alexio, and I'll be doing the webinar for us today. So I hope everybody can hear okay and you're connected and you can see. If you have any problem getting into the webinar, if you lose connection, just go back to the email that we sent you with your registration. You can just click on that link and you'll jump right back into the webinar. You can rejoin the telephone conversation as well. But if you need to contact somebody at Alexio for help, feel free to do that. Our 800 number is 888-997-9947. And you can just press 2 for support, and tell them you want to get back in the webinar. We'll be happy to help you. Well, we are really excited today to talk about a brand new feature coming to the AMP software suite, and it is all about texting. So we're really excited about this. Before we actually jump into it, I want to have a little fun today, and I want to do a couple of questions where I want to take a poll and get some responses from you guys. So I just want to find out how many of you actually use texting yourself personally. So you should see on your screen a few answers. Go ahead and answer the poll. And I'll reveal the results here in just a minute. But go ahead and make a selection and submit your answer, and we'll have a little fun here. I got to tell you, I'm an old guy now. I'm over 40. And I got into texting kicking and screaming. I really didn't want to do it. But my kids, of course, were all about texting, and they drugged me into it. And now it's an essential part of the way I communicate with lots of people. Maybe you guys have a similar story, but texting is just a really handy tool. So, all right, I'm getting ready to close this poll, and we'll see the answers. So here we go. Let's reveal the answers here. Oops, does it show you that? I will try to share it so you guys can see it. Okay, yeah, it looks like just about everybody text every day. So that just tells us right away how important texting has become. All right, let's do another one here. I got another one for you. How about this one? Do you have a smartphone? Yes or no? If you're not sure what a smartphone is, I'm talking about like an iPhone or an Android phone. So if you still don't know what a smartphone is, then just select no. All right, I'm going to close the poll in about 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and here's the results. Okay, a huge percentage of you, 90% of you, are using a smartphone. Very interesting. That stat is way above the national average. We're approaching about 55 to 60% of adults in the U.S. now have a smartphone, which is a very, very rapid ascent of smartphones. I mean, just a couple of years ago, that number was like 40%. So it's really advancing quickly. Okay, I got one more question for you. And it's this one, very subjective question, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. What percentage of the people in your church are using texting? You know, even if it's just, you know, occasionally, I'm trying to get a sense of how valuable you think this feature is going to be to the people in your church and how much they're going to use it and appreciate it. So, what percentage of your church uses texting? Results are pouring in. Yes, very good. Make your selection if you haven't already, and I'm going to close it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and I will show you these results as well. Wow, so looks like 80% or more, or 60 to 80% is the biggest category there. So again, this texting is just a massively well-used feature and part of our everyday life, and especially in church. So that makes me really excited to be able to jump in and talk to you guys today about our latest addition to the software suite, and that is we are rolling out mass texting. To start it, we're going to start with AMP Fusion. So why don't we just jump in and let me show it to you. I'm really excited about this. So let's go to Fusion. Let me pop that up on my screen. And we'll start very simply. If you go, you can send a text to an individual. And if you'll just go to the people screen, and then you look up someone's information. So let's say that I want to send a text to my wife. So I'm going to select her record from the database here. You will notice a new icon right next to every mobile phone number in the database. So this is a mobile phone number. And if you click the button to send a text, it will give you a very, very simple pop-up message where you can actually type the message. So I'm going to type her a message.
We're not seeing your screen change.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me, okay, how about now?
Thank you.
There we go. Let me start over real quick. I'm just on the people screen. Okay. Sorry about that. I had the poll up and I forgot to take that down. So I'm on the people screen, and I just looked up anybody in the database. And as soon as you pull up that person, you will notice that there's a new green icon right next to their mobile phone number off to the right-hand side. And if you just click that little icon, it will pop up a very simple screen where you can type a message. So I'm going to type her a message. If I can type here, I'm testing texting in AMP Fusion. And you simply hit send, and it will try to send that message to the phone number that you specified up at the top. And it will tell you in real time whether or not that went through. So in this particular case, that's actually not a real phone number. So I'm going to actually type in a real number. She's going to love me for this. But anyway, here we go. I'm trying to show you how this works. So I did that on purpose. All right, so just type your message and hit send, and it should take just a second or two, and it will send a real message. So there you go. It says send has been successful, and it's that simple for sending a one-time message to one individual. Okay. Let's talk about how to do mass texting. We have, for our initial rollout, we have built in the mass texting tool into the output wizard. And if you remember, the output wizard, we use that in several different places throughout our software. Probably the most common one that you'll remember is on the reporting screen. So let's say that I want to send a message to every member in the church. So I can simply type members because I want to search for members in our church. And there happens to be a report that I've already saved. It's a custom search called members. And you will notice a new option down here at the bottom called send text. And all you got to do is click the button, run report. And you will get a very similar screen pop up to the one that we just saw on the people screen. It's got a few extra things. And it will take just a minute to pop up. But here you go. You just type your message in this big white box. And then you will see 3 different lists. Now remember, I selected members. So these are all of our members. And the first tab is all of the members that actually have a mobile phone. So they're going to be listed here. There is an opt-out list, so if people have chosen not to receive text from the church, you can look at that right away, so it'll show you who is not going to get this message. And then, of course, there's a whole list of people that don't have a mobile phone. So hopefully this list is not going to be very long in your database. This is a sample database that I'm working with. So it's quite a long list here. I don't have mobile numbers for all these people. But we put this up here to make it very clear, you know, who's going to get this message and who isn't. So let's start with this simple, straightforward list here. I'm just going to type my message. So again, I'm typing. All right, there's my message, and I can then hit send. And let me show you two ways that we handle mass texting. If your distribution list is greater than 15 people, then we will send the whole texting job to a batch process in the background. And that's what it's telling you right now. It's going to send that to a queue, and it will send all of those messages out in 5 minutes or less. So we have a server that runs in the background, and it just loads up all the messages that need to go out, and it runs every 5 minutes. So your message will go out in 5 minutes or less. Now, if I pick a smaller group, so I'm going to use that same list, and I'm just going to knock a couple of people off the list here. So I'm going to unselect a few of these people. And now, when I hit the send button, it's going to go out to 14 recipients. And if I click yes, it's going to tell me in real time whether or not that message got delivered. So you'll see it buzz down through the list here and finish sending all of these messages. All right, so you'll see that most of these are going out successfully, and some of them are failing. So you will need to pay attention to that to make sure your message got delivered. Really, really simple, right? Hopefully your users are going to take to this without any instruction whatsoever. It's very, very simple. Let me explain one other little feature, and then we'll move on. Just like if you're used to Twitter or you're used to other texting type engines, they allow you to insert a really long web link, known as a URL, and our software can automatically shorten that URL. And let me pull up a page here on my sample website. And actually, I need to log in first in order to get this page. Oops. So I have this page that I create. Let's pretend that you're trying to promote an event at your church. You can copy the link to this page. So here's my special promo page for an event that I'm doing at our church. Go into Fusion and then paste that link. So see how long that link is? That's using up most of my message space. Well, if you click this little button, Compress URLs, it will automatically detect any web link in your message and shorten it using Bitly. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Bitly, but it's a nice little web service that does exactly this. It shortens long links and makes them real tiny. And that way, you got a lot more characters and you can put more message in here. So, I hope you will come to this great event at our church, okay? And, just click the above link to register or whatever, okay? And then you can send your message just like that. Okay, very, very simple. Let me go back to my PowerPoint here and answer a few questions. First of all, what I just showed you is going to be released in Fusion to start with. Very soon, we are going to roll it out to Pulse, and we're going to enable your volunteer leaders to send text messages to their small group or to a ministry team that they lead. So on the Pulse page, you know that in the small group section, if you are a leader, and that's the involvement code leader, then it automatically allows you to send a mass email to your small group or your ministry team. We're just going to add a new button there called send a text, and it'll let them do that automatically in Pulse. We are also adding texting to touch, and that's also coming soon. And the big feature there is we are going to let you send a text to the parent. You can say whatever you want to the parent. I got to believe the most common message is going to be, please come pick up your kid. So this is a real big breakthrough when you think about it. So within the touch software, like you'll just be able to look up a kid like you normally would, enter the master override PIN code, and you'll see that kid's record, and there'll be a new button there that just says send a text. And you have the choice. You can send a text to the person who checked in or to the parent who checked that person in. So depending on what kind of event it is, we were thinking primarily of Sunday morning, you'll be able to notify a parent to come get their kid. This could help your church do away with the old, the red numbers that show up front, the paging system, that kind of thing, and also for nursery. A lot of churches spend a lot of money on those hard pagers. The day is almost here, if not already, for your church, where everybody has a phone that has texting enabled. You don't even need a smartphone, right? You can do texting on a dumb phone. And we think this is going to be revolutionary for a lot of churches. It's going to save you a lot of money and just be a whole lot more efficient. You don't have to flash up numbers anymore and have parents worry about that. But you can send a text. Another cool idea, just while I'm thinking about this, is we are also going to put group texting to everybody that attended a certain event. You can do it in Fusion right now, but in Touch, we're going to do it from Touch too, where you could say, hey, we really enjoyed having your child at the first grade class this week at our church. We talked about David and Goliath. So over lunch today, ask them about David and Goliath. So that'll be a nice, fun feature that your teachers or your children's pastors will be able to do in AMP Touch. Okay, next question. How much is it? Guess what? It's free if you're in the United States. This is a free feature that we are rolling out to all U.S.-based phones. Okay? It's not free to us, by the way. We are actually spending thousands of dollars every month to have this service because we connect into the real texting engine that runs texting for the world, the network of that. We don't do like our competitors. They use email to actually send text, and there's a lot of limitations to that. Well, we chose to do real texting. So the great news is it is free for all U.S.-based mobile phones and unlimited. No matter how big your church is or how many text messages you want to send, it is going to be free for your people. Now, unfortunately, the bad news is if you are outside of the U.S. or you are sending messages to people with phones from an international carrier, so a non-U.S. based carrier, there will be a charge of 6 cents per message. So you're really going to want to watch that and be careful. We are going to put a little meter in AMP Fusion where you can go in and see what your current charges are, how many texts you've sent, that kind of thing. But for now, just make sure that all of your people understand that it does cost 6 cents per message if you're sending to a non-U.S. based phone. Okay, next question. When will it be available? Actually, in just a few days, on August 27th, on our normal release schedule, we usually release software on Tuesdays. So on August 27th, we are going to release these texting features in Fusion on that day. How do you implement it? Well, it's real simple, as I just showed you. I think your people are just going to take to this like ducks to water. No instruction needed whatsoever. There are a couple of things that you guys as administrators will want to consider. We have written this help article for you. Just go to help.elexio.com/fusion/SMS. And you can go look at that document right now. There's screenshots in there for you, and there's a description. And we're also putting frequently asked questions up there as well. So, and by the way, I forgot to mention, you should have a little box on the control panel for this online meeting, and it says questions on it. Feel free to ask questions right now. Go type whatever you want, and we will give you an answer, hopefully right on the spot. And we'll also add whatever frequently asked questions. We'll add this to this web page so you can refer to it later. Okay, let me answer a couple of them right now that I've just thought of myself. I haven't looked at the questions you're asking me, so please forgive me. But I think people are going to want to know, can you opt out from getting text from the church? Yes, you can, and it can happen in two different ways. Individuals can opt themselves out of texting. The very first time that you send a message to your people, it has a header on it that says, you know, if you want to stop receiving text, all you have to do is reply with the word stop or quit. It's very smart. We wrote a bunch of different ways to handle stopping, you know, getting the text. So all they have to do is just reply to the text, and that instantly stops them from getting any more texts from your church. Okay? The other way that you can do it is you guys as administrators, since you have access to Fusion, we have added a new checkbox on the people screen. And if you look right here, there is a checkbox that says opt out of mass text messages. So if you check that box like I just did on Dee Dee's record, she will no longer get text messages from the church. All right? All right. So those two ways will prevent people from getting texting from your church. Okay, next question. Do we need to tag all of the mobile numbers with their carriers? Like, is it important that you know which carrier somebody has their mobile phone with? The answer is no, which is, again, a great thing compared to a lot of our competitors that have mass texting. You know, the person has to go in and they have to tell you that they're with AT&T or they're with Sprint or whatever. You don't have to do that with our system. Our system, again, we send real text messages using the international SMS system. They're not fake, you know, text messages run via email. So that's great news for you guys. Okay, can you turn off mass texting for selected users? And the answer is yes. We have built into the security model for Fusion the ability to not allow certain people on your, you know, certain people that use Fusion, you can not allow them to send text. And you do that simply by going to the home screen, click on Common Tasks, Manage Security. You can select which roles you want to change. So if you want to go to like Standard User, you can go to the People section, and there is a new security key called SMS Text Messaging. You simply toggle this Add button. If it's green, that means they can text. If it's red, that means they cannot text. Now, you have to do it in two places. This will prevent them from doing it from the People screen. And then you also need to go to the Reporting section, and there's a new security key there called SMS text messaging via the output wizard. So you also want to disable it with the output wizard. All right? That will prevent them from doing mass texting. Okay, let's see. Next question. Can we receive text in reply to our mass text? The answer is not yet. We're going to start simple, as we usually do. We try to roll these things out slowly. You know, believe me, texting has a lot of issues that come with it right off the gate, so we want you to get comfortable with that first, and us as well. So right now, texting is one way. So you can blast out all the messages you want. Unfortunately, you cannot receive replies to those mass texts. We are working on some more advanced features that we'll roll out later that will allow your entire church to reply to those messages. what it's going to take is we're going to have to build an inbox, basically, where we'll probably put it on the home screen where you can see all the replies incoming to your text. That's one idea. There's also some advanced things that we're working on where you can use special codes. So you could send out a message that says, hey, if you'd like more information about our church, reply with info, and when they hit reply, then there'll be, some automatic information that comes back to them, or, just things like that. We're working on a lot of those more advanced two-way texting capabilities, but they're not in this first release, all right? Okay, let's jump over to questions. Tim, or I have some other people helping me out with the webinar today. Do you guys just want to jump into one of those and answer it for us? Maybe not.
Yeah, we could do that. We can jump in. We are getting some questions related. You already talked about the reply options briefly, and I've been answering some questions, so I didn't hear everything that you were saying. That's why, and Chris might be feeling the same way. As we answer questions, we kind of tune you out, Mark. Sorry, you are significant, but
I'm used to it. I'm good.
Did you talk about? You did talk some about the reply features. Did you talk much about what we're thinking about in terms of being able to bring people into lists automatically, some of those kinds of things?
Yeah, that's a more advanced feature that will most likely come out later. What Tim's saying is if you want to be able to sign up people automatically, capture their mobile phone numbers, by texting a code to a certain number, that's a more advanced feature that we're considering for the future.
Mark, something else I could mention is that we're getting a lot of questions about, okay, what's it going to look like for the people who get it? And if you go to help.alexio.com/fusion/SMS, we do have some screenshots there, not just of the feature itself, but of actually the what it looks like on a phone when you get that. If you scroll down a little bit, right down there, those two little things there, that shows you exactly what somebody's going to get, and even the number that it's come from. That's short code 97900, and you can see, the test message is, here's a test message to my cell with the bit.ly. But the message before that that's exactly what they're going to see, and they both come together. So they see it's church alerts. It gives them the information for stopping and all that stuff, and gives them the actual message there. So a couple of different screenshots there so that you can see exactly what that's going to look like. Back to you, Mark.
Okay. Any other questions, Tim, that you noticed that we haven't answered yet, maybe?
Let's see. Go ahead.
Somebody asked, what will the 5-digit code look like? If I'm not mistaken, we're going to use keywords. And by the way, I can show you this right now in Fusion. If you go to, and by the way, you guys can't see this yet. You'll see it on the 27th. But in Fusion, from the home page, if you click on the Options button, there is a new box on the General Options screen called SMS Texting Keyword. You guys will get to choose what keyword you want to use, and you can go ahead and do that now. I highly recommend you do it now because it's on a first-come, first-served basis. Every keyword must be unique. You can't use a keyword that another church is using. So go ahead and reserve your words right now. Word. We're just using one word right now. We actually need this in order for texting to work right now. And then in the future, we're just going to expand on that, and there'll be a lot more capabilities with it. And we'll explain that when we roll that out. But for right now, we do need to have a unique keyword for each church.
Mark, there's a couple questions about the opt-out feature. Is
Yeah.
the church able to tell when people opt out, and if someone opts out, are they able to opt back in?
Yes, they are able to opt back in on their own and from the staff. So if you guys want to opt somebody back in, we are going to support that same checkbox. So if I want to let Dee Dee opt back in, I would simply uncheck that box. And then from the end user, they can hit reply and type a certain message to opt back in. And what that is, I don't know. But we'll put it on the frequently asked questions and we'll document it there for you. We really have a two-step protection with opting in and out. Our provider actually maintains a list of all the people that have opted out, and then we do too. And we have some, systems in the background that keep those lists in sync. But it's really a pretty robust way so that individuals can do it and you can do it as an administrator to opt people in and out. Anything else?
In the features that are to come, is there going to be a way to set up texts to go out ahead of time or to schedule them?
We are considering that for an advanced set of features. It's not available right now, but if you guys send in your request and you really want that feature, we'll definitely consider that.
And there are several more questions about the keyword. When this gets used, what is it going to be for exactly?
It'll be a unique identifier for your church. So right now, that keyword has to be in there, and it's used behind the scenes. You can't see anything that we do with it right now, but we use it behind the scenes to manage the traffic that will be two-way eventually, and even the one-way traffic. We have a log, and so that we can know, who's sending out messages. Obviously, we will be able to see that in our software, but even with our provider, there's tools that they have to manage, who's sending what. So I know that sounds confusing. You can't see anything about the keyword or what it does and all that kind of stuff. You just need to know that you need one right now. All right. Hope that's clear. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I just did a quick scan of these questions. I think we have answered most of these. If not, we will reply to you directly, or I think a lot of them have been answered online. So hopefully that'll help. If not, if for some reason you don't hear from us or we didn't answer your question, you can always send an email to support@elexio.com, and we will be more than happy to help you and answer your questions. And of course, keep checking that page that we mentioned, the help page located here, and we will document that as well as we can as well. So, and also, obviously, when we release this on the 27th, you'll see in the revision history, it's going to be notified there. I think we have another email going out because this is such a big feature. We want everybody to be aware of it. We'll point you to that location as well. So, all right, you guys. Hey, thanks a bunch for your time. Really appreciate it. I hope this is really helpful to your church. We're super excited about this. We've been working on it for quite a while and really thrilled to be able to roll it out now. So, thanks again. Appreciate your time today. So, everybody have a great day.